Okay. Scoochie on over. All right. So, in this video, I will be talking about how to overcome procrastination. So, this is something that I talk with a lot with my clients, and I feel like it will be helpful. I've noticed within this group as well that, people have issues with procrastination and putting off their goals and not really moving forward with what they want to do, whether it's small or big. So I want to get right into that. So got my little sticky notes. Okay, so one thing I always recommend is, and I'll also be giving like some of my own examples and how I was able to do things. So one thing I would say is to break down your goals into bite-sized pieces so that you can, knock things out a little bit quicker and build your self-confidence. So one of the things is, when we have very large goals, we only see the actual like end goal or the result or whatever the case is. Or then when we start to think about completing the goal, it is always what comes after that goal. So for example, one of my clients was thinking about, she wanted to own a health and beauty spa. So she kept thinking about, what was the products going to be like in her health and beauty spa? What was, like, I guess who she would hire or where it was going to be or what it was going to look like, or what did she want to have in it? Like the features that she wanted to have in the health and beauty spa. And not saying that stuff isn't important, but when you are thinking about a goal, like she wants to own her own business, when you're thinking about something like that, well, what do you even have to do to even get the health and beauty spa? Like, you're thinking about the products and what the features you're going to have in the health and beauty spa, where it's going to be located. You're thinking about things that come after getting the goal, and you have to start thinking about what comes before it. So what we did was basically process, and she needed her cosmetology license. She didn't even have her cosmetology license. So it's like, okay, well, let's work on that. A lot of the times we want to see the whole staircase. We want to see the whole vision laid out, mapped in front of us. And then it's like, okay, now we're go. But it doesn't work like that. A lot of the times, many times, you have to just see the next step and take the next step and have trust and faith in the process that you're going to be guided, because life is supporting you. It's always happening for your benefit and not against you, even though there may be experiences that we don't really like and we're like, oh my God, why is this happening to me? But really it's happening because it's what you need to get what you want, not what you want to get what you want. So please keep that in mind. Like, life is always helping you. So anyways, just see the first step, the first stair. You don't have to see the whole staircase. So in her thing, it was just get her cosmetology license. So now it's like, okay, we'll start Googling schools, start looking into schools, start seeing what are your requirements to get into the cosmetology school. And that steps within itself. So that was also my experience with me having my own business. Was I knew that I wanted to support myself off of teaching yoga, but I didn't know how. And a lot of times we want to know how. We want to know everything. We want to have control over the outcome, the situation, the journey, and really in order to release that procrastination, we have to let go of trying to know everything, because that's the thing that kills us moving forward. We want to have all our ducks in a row. We want to know everything that's about to go on, and then it's like, okay, then I'll move forward. But that will either never happen, or take a very long time before that happens. Or then you get something together and then something else falls out your hand. And then it's just like, oh, now I got to get that back. Okay, now I got to get this. And then it's just like you're trying to get everything together. You're trying to prepare yourself when it's like, just go. Go with what you got. And everything will come along the process. It truly, truly will. I have seen this many times within my life whenever I'm manifesting something, and I have seen it many times in my clients' life when they are manifesting something. So, just take messy action. This was something I had seen in one of my business coaching programs. Just take messy action. Just take whatever you got and do it and adjust as you grow. A lot of us are afraid to make mistakes and stuff, but mistakes is part of the process. That's how you learn. You can't avoid being embarrassed or making a mistake or failing or whatever the case is. Any of these celebrities or really affluent people or influential people, they always talk about the importance of just going out there and doing it and failing and learning from your failures and things like that. So don't think that it's going to be perfect. Just do it and adjust as you grow. When you think about all these other companies, you will see how their product evolve. You'll see it if you really pay attention to it. When they first come out with something, it may be crap, but like Facebook keep evolving. Instagram keeps evolving. The internet keeps evolving. Clothes, all of that stuff. When I bought that a while ago, they ain't had this. Well, now they got this. Restaurants, so everybody's doing it. Now, second thing, get someone that is going to hold you accountable. So this is so very important. I am so strong on accountability partners. It can be a coach. I'm so into coaches. I was very scared to get my first coach because he was very expensive. But seeing the quickness and how I got to where I wanted to get, I still made mistakes. It still was challenging. It still was fear there. But to have a support system, to have someone helping you is really priceless. And we don't think about the importance of having a community when we are going somewhere. We think that people aren't really helping us, or that they are going to bite from us or take from us or be jealous of us. We have to release that idea of feeling like people aren't really there to support you, because they are. So whether it's, a friend that you're going to study with or whatever the case is, whether it's, I would say do it on a consistent basis, once a week at least, get a friend. I have a friend. I have a business coach, but then I also have a friend that I talk to on Wednesday. Shout out Amanda. And we just talk about business stuff, to make sure that, we're keeping each other on track. We're keeping each other inspired. And honestly, when you see someone else doing that and getting through their hurdles and getting through their challenging times, you get inspired through that. So that is one of the great ways, and having someone that's going to hold you accountable. If you're having a coach, more than likely your coach is where you want to be. So then seeing that there's someone that has attained what you want to be, and being in their presence, seeing how they operate, seeing the background of it, and then switching it to you, being, innovative. You don't have to reinvent. You don't have to redo everything that somebody is doing and do something totally different. But, do what people are already doing, but make it yours. Put your own little spin onto it. That's okay. We talk about that all the time in business, is to be innovative and make it yours. So the third thing is to find something that will make it fun or enjoyable. So, for example, when I used to study in college, I didn't really like studying. So I would always get a friend, me and this girl named Mel. We would hit up the library really late at night. I would get off from class or whatever. I would come back to my dorm or my apartment. I would go to sleep. Well, when I was in the dorms, this is when it really would happen. I would go to sleep, and then we'll wake up at like 8 o'clock at night and then go to the library. So what I would do, I would always make sure I think it was called a polar cap. I would always get like this iced coffee. And for some reason that made me feel like, I'm being productive. And I still do it to this day. I won't get coffee now, but when life was opened, or outside was open, I would go to a coffee shop and I would just get me a coffee or something and then have something to like bite on or snack on. And that just made me feel like, while I'm out watching something, watching a training or doing my work, because it just made me feel professional. It just made me feel more productive or something like that. And yeah, so do something that's going to make it fun and enjoyable. 1, 2, with yoga. When I do my yoga practice, sometimes I don't want to hear music, but other times, I can sit there and listen to a song for a really long time, and I'll just be sitting in a chair or laying in the bed or something or doing something else. So then I started doing it while I was actually doing yoga, so that, one of my favorite songs that I'll play over and over and over and over again, I'll do that while I'm doing yoga, so that, I can get that out of my system and, do something that makes it enjoyable, like listening to music, which is something you'll already probably be doing anyways. So that's another thing. And then the fourth thing is to make time for whatever your holy time is, or your self-care, or talking to spirit, whether it's praying or it's meditating or it's journaling or it's reading. Make time to connect with the universe and the creator, because most of the time, many times, life is supporting us. It's like a stream or a river. There is this current in the river that is already going in the way that is going, regardless if you're there or not. So you can either hop into that stream and go and maybe roll to get a little bit more control over it, but you're still going in the direction that the stream is already flowing in, which makes it effortless, which makes it much easier to get things done when you are listening to the signs that spirit or the universe, or whatever you want to call it, is sending you. It may be a person, and then you see somebody and they're talking about doing something. For example, I have a dream interpreter in my business, and when I met this person, be open to receiving. So when I met this person, I was not thinking that they was going to be a dream interpreter. I was actually going into something else, and it just fell into place. Like, it just was so easy for him to become a part of the team. I didn't try to look into it. I knew in my mind that I wasn't that good at dream interpretation. So I was like, if I could find somebody that can really do it. I actually had another person in mind who used to interpret my dreams, but he just fell into place. Like, a lot of the things in life just happen so effortlessly for me. And I know it's because, when you spend time with just be still, that saying, all of the answers are within you, is true. Just be still. Take some time to not look out when you're not sleeping, and just focus on your breath and just calm your thoughts, and just, really feel into your body, and the gut feeling will get stronger. Your intuition will get stronger, and that will be what's guiding you. That's how you'll be able to know that something ain't right. You need to go. You need to do something else. For example, when I quit my 9 to 5. So a lot of people go and say, when you start a business, quit your 9 to 5, or you don't need no 9 to 5, or, 9 to 5s are important. Honestly, when people think that everybody should just be their own boss, and not saying that it's not rewarding, but it's still a role. Like, I would need employees, so it's just like, you can't just knock people for being employees. Like, that's okay. I was an employee at one time and I loved it. I loved my job, but it came to a time where I just knew within my spirit that I just couldn't be at that job anymore. And one of my business coaches, she actually told me, and this is what actually my dream interpreter was telling one of my clients, was that It may feel like life is forcing you to do something when really it's helping you, but you've taken so long, you've procrastinated to the point where it seems like it's being forced upon you. So, for example, if you say that you want to do something, so I'll give my own example. I say that I want to be my own boss, and I'm going to end up leaving my job. I want to quit my job or whatever. So she was like, there are going to be things that's going to be happening in your life or in your job that's going to be leading you to the job ending, whether you quit or whether they fire you. Excuse me. So whether you go on a train and take it, and actually follow what you're supposed to be doing and quit, either way, the job is going to end because you already put the intention out there that you didn't want to work at this job and you want to have your own business. So she was like, do the behind the scenes things that we're teaching you so that you can be ready to quit when it's time to quit, or you can be ready if they fire you. But either way, the job is going to end because you put the intention out there. So, of course, I didn't want the latter option, which is them firing me. And then I'm like, okay, what do I do? I'm just out here because I haven't done anything. So I was getting things on the back end together. I did end up putting in my letter of resignation and quitting the job, but it still was a leap of faith that I had to do because I was spending too much time on my business and I wasn't really put my all into the job, and I'm such a stickler on giving my 100%. So the fact that I wasn't giving my 100% at the job, I was like, okay, I know that it's time to go. And I just felt this feeling in me, like it was time to go. It was time to move. And the last thing I say, let me make sure, yep, this is the last thing. Do it. When people say that they want to manifest, I don't know if people say this, the experts, but 80% of it is action and 20% of it is visualizing. So we spend, or other people, they may spend 80% visualizing and 20% acting. In order to manifest something, you have to do something about it. You can't just visualize it and think about it and then you don't do anything about it. And that's where the whole breaking down your goals and setting smaller goals comes into play, so that doing something about it becomes a little bit easier. So, when it was time for me, a lot of the times we can feel the energy, especially as women. We have this intuition and we can feel the act that needs to happen. We can feel that something needs to happen now. We need to do something about it. And when we ignore our intuition, that's when it becomes the point where it feels like it's forced upon us. And it's just like, oh, now I got to do it. But we have these little inklings. And if we don't act on those inklings, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger until it's just like, boom. And that's where we don't want to really wait till it's like, boom, until they fire you or, whatever the case is, and then you're not ready. So act on your intuition. We have to learn to trust that. And the only way you can really trust your intuition is if you start acting on it and seeing the fruits of it. The trust is not going to come beforehand. It doesn't make sense for it to come beforehand. I can't even explain how it could come beforehand and for your trust to be built. You got to just do it and then see from there. And it's scary. It is frightening. When I quit my job, I didn't have any clients. Nope, I didn't have any clients. But I had the framework. I had the business model. But I just knew it was time to go because I felt it when they put a new requirement on the position, basically. And that's when I knew, I was like, I can't be here. I barely can continue on with the requirements that I do have. Now you're overworking me. These marketing procedures aren't working. And I'm telling them, like, hey, I think that we should do something differently with these marketing procedures because we're not getting the amount, the leads that we're supposed to get. And they was like, oh, well, we can't really do that. It's done this way. And whether it's a person or it's an agency or whatever, you have to be used to changing. When you're stuck in your own way, you become stagnant. And then you're putting a lot of pressure on your employees for a concept that is outdated. So that really like, I was just like, I just gotta go. And so I didn't tell anybody what I was doing. I think I told one person. They asked me, was my car paid off? And I was just like, nope, I'm not telling them. because, you know, when people question things like that, it makes you start to question yourself and doubt yourself. So sometimes, you know, you just have to keep it to yourself about whatever it is you're doing. And then I would say set a time. So set a time in your life where you're going to commit to doing whatever it is that you're going to do. So maybe when you get off of work, you may come home, rest a little bit, but 2 hours after you get off work, you're going to set your time to do whatever it is that you need to do. Or whether it's washing your clothes or whatever it is, I'm going to do it on this day at this time, and set the time to do that and remove your distractions. When I'm working on my business, my phone is on do not disturb and it's turned over just in case, you know. So you have to be honest with yourself. I know that if my phone dings, I'm going to probably look at it. Even if it's, you know, I try to fight the urge. Oh my God, my comments are working. Yes. I didn't know if it was going to be working. Kiana. She said, you are speaking directly to me. I'm so grateful for this video. This is me to the T. I procrastinate for all of those reasons. I right now feel like I am being forced out of my current position. I feel everything you have said. This was awesome, Ari. Thank you. Yes, Kiana. Oh my God, I didn't know if my comments were working. But yes, that is so true. Thank you for, you know, speaking out and saying that, you know, these are all these reasons. You know, honestly, you helped me. Not you particularly, but, you know, my clients really helped me because, you know, I used to procrastinate, but, you know, it's kind of a little bit harder when you can see the trend that's happening within many people. It makes it easier to be like, okay, I see what's really going on. The intention behind the procrastination that is common between everybody's individual lives. So thank you for, you know, being open and sharing and, you know, talking about that. So yeah, remove the distraction. So yeah, just to go over, you know, how to overcome the procrastination. Break your goals down into bite-sized pieces. That's one. So do whatever. So for example, if you want to have a business, thinking about the first thing that you have to do. Like, what do you have to do? Maybe Google that field or something. It doesn't have to be long, big old, go to a conference or something like that. Pay $50, get a nice dress or something. You don't have to do that. You know, you can Google it or look more into on what you got to do. So it can be that. Now, 2, get someone that will hold you accountable, and whether it's a friend or whatever the case is. 3, find something that will make it pleasurable or enjoyable. Whether it's maybe getting yourself some coffee or playing a little music, maybe playing a little gospel song a little bit beforehand, whatever it is that's going to make it a little bit more fun. Like when we clean, if we was to just clean quietly, that'd probably be boring. We, you know, get up, we play our music, we, you know, dance a little bit, you know, well, at least I do when I clean or when I cook or when I wash dishes, you know, things like that. So, 4, make time for your holy time. It could just be 5 minutes. A lot of people think that, you know, you will want to give Spirit, the Creator, God, Allah, whatever you want to call it, more time. But I would say start off at the beginning. Like, start off with just 5 minutes. When 5 minutes turn into 5 seconds, then you go on and add on to it. You know, a lot of people just try to start off with 30 minutes of meditation or prayer time or whatever the case is. And it's like, you know, yeah, some people say, yeah, I do it for 30 minutes, but they probably didn't start off doing for 30 minutes. And if they did, they were forcing themselves to sit there and just deal with it, you know, to say that they did it for 30 minutes. At least that's what I was doing. I had to stop that. Set a time to remove distractions is 5. Set a time and remove distractions. And then just do it, you know, do it. Just go out there and do it. Like, you got to do something about it. 80% is action, 20% is mindset. That's how I did everything that I've done, whether it was traveling, going to Australia. I think you guys know that. I'm pretty sure you guys know that. That was not easy to just go across the country like that. I had to get a lot of things in place before I did that. And I did all of these. I broke my goals down. What do I got to do? I got to get a passport. I got to get a my birth certificate in order to get the passport. I gotta do whatever class, sign up for whatever class I needed at the time. That wasn't easy just because it was study abroad. It was still very challenging. I actually had to defer it because I thought I was going one semester and I did it at the last minute, and I had to do it a whole semester ahead of time to give myself more time. So when you're doing big goals, give yourself more time to do it. Don't just put it off because it seems so big and it ain't coming like that. If it's a bigger goal, if it's a larger goal like traveling or having a business, give yourself time to let that manifest. Set it for like a year or something, and then find something that will make it enjoyable. So like when I was going to Australia and stuff like that, I would go looking for like little locks, like suitcases, to get my mind off of the other serious stuff, like doing the applications and the other big stuff that you needed to do. Find it enjoyable. Make time for your holy time. Make time for God. I'm going to just say God. Make time for God, whether it's praying or journaling or meditating or listening to some gospel music. Make time. And set a time and remove distractions. So whether it's, setting a time like, okay, on this time I'm going to Google the hotels I'm going to stay at, or I'm going to Google the cosmetology schools, or whatever the case is. Like, set that time and stick to it. People will love when they can not really get your time. Like, even friends, or not, they'll love that, but they'll respect that. And if you want to be a leader, you got to be able to show, like, I can't do it on that time. I'm doing this today, or I can be there in 30 minutes, or I can be there in the next hour. You don't always have to jump when people say jump. Oh, they call you, you answer. Oh, when you do answer, oh, can you come? Oh, I can come there today. And then you put off something else that you got to do for yourself so that you can be there for that other person. It's okay to be like, no, I can't do that. I got to do this tomorrow. And then actually do it. So, yep, those are the ways how you can overcome procrastination. And I thank you all for watching, and have a great, great rest of your Wednesday. Peace out.